It's 9 in the evening. You put down your rabbit's favorite greens, like you do every night, and they don't come over. Usually they're at the bowl before it even touches the floor. Tonight they're just sitting there, tucked into a little loaf, not moving. And that quiet, more than anything loud, is the thing that should get your full attention. I'm a rabbit owner, not a vet, and I need to say that clearly before anything else, because this is one of those topics where being honest about what I am matters. I read the Singapore Rabbit groups every week, so you don't have to. And the post that comes up over and over, usually late at night, usually a little panic, is some version of my rabbit stopped eating, what do I do? This video is the thing I wish someone had calmly explained to me before it ever happened to mine. So here's what we'll cover: what this thing actually is and why it's an emergency, the early signs that are easy to miss, the timeline of the first 12 hours and what each window means, the gentle, safe things you can do at home while you arrange help, the common mistakes that cost rabbits the most, and most importantly, how to get to a rabbit-savvy vet quickly, because that is the whole point of this video. Let's start with what is actually going wrong inside them. A rabbit's gut is built to never stop. It's designed to have hay moving through it almost all the time. A slow, constant trickle of fiber, keeping everything ticking over. When a rabbit eats less or stops eating, that movement slows down. Food and gas start to sit and build up. The gut gets uncomfortable, then painful, and the rabbit in pain eats even less. That's the trap. It feeds on itself, and it can spiral faster than you'd expect. The proper name for this is gastrointestinal stasis. You'll see people in the groups just call it stasis or stasis. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that it is a true emergency, not a wait and see kind of problem. A rabbit that isn't eating is a rabbit on a clock, and our job tonight is to understand that clock and beat it. Now the signs, because catching this early is everything. The single most reliable sign is the litter tray. A healthy rabbit produces a steady stream of round droppings all day. If you're seeing no droppings or much smaller ones than usual for somewhere around 6 to 12 hours, take that seriously. Droppings are the gut talking to you, and when they stop, the gut has gone quiet. The next sign is the one that probably brought you here. They refuse food, and not just any food, their absolute favorite greens, the cilantro or parsley they'd normally mug you for. Then there's posture. A rabbit that's hurting will sit hunched, very still, often pressing their belly flat against a cool surface like the floor tiles. They're trying to relieve the pressure. There's also teeth grinding, and this one trips people up. A soft, gentle little tooth purr when you're stroking them is contentment. That's a happy rabbit. But a slow, loud, deliberate grinding is the opposite. That's pain. You might also hear the belly actually gurgling loudly or see it looking swollen, and you'll often notice they've stopped grooming themselves and just seem switched off, less aware of you and the room. One of these signs is enough to pick up the phone, 2 or more together, and you do not wait. Now I want to talk about why this hits harder here in Singapore specifically, because it genuinely does. Our heat and humidity quietly dehydrate rabbits. When a rabbit is even a little dehydrated, the contents of their gut thicken and slow down, which is exactly the conditions stasis loves. So our climate is sitting in the background, nudging the odds the wrong way all the time. There's a second local factor. A lot of us keep our rabbits in air-conditioned rooms, then move them, or the aircon goes off overnight and they swing between cold and warm. Those temperature swings are stressful, and stress is a known trigger. And the third one, the one that really matters for tonight, is that we have far fewer exotic vets open after hours than we have dog and cat clinics. So a problem that starts at 9 in the evening on a weekend is exactly when help is hardest to reach. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to tell you why moving early rather than waiting is the whole game here. So let's walk the clock. I'm going to take you through the first 12 hours, because knowing which window you're in tells you exactly how hard to push. And the honest theme across every window is the same. You're trying to get professional help moving as early as you possibly can. The first window is 0 to 6 hours from when you noticed. This is your best window, and the single most useful thing you can do in it is boring. You book the earliest exotic vet appointment you can get. You call the clinic or you check who's open, and you get yourself into the diary. Do not tell yourself you see how they look in the morning. That sentence is the most expensive sentence in this whole topic. The second window is 6 to 12 hours. If you genuinely cannot get a vet right this moment, late at night, nobody answering, this is when you start gentle home support to keep them as comfortable and hydrated as you can. But I want to be really clear about the framing here. Home support is what you do while you are still actively trying to reach a vet. It is never instead of a vet. You keep calling, you keep checking who opens first thing, you keep that appointment as your number one job. The third window, 12 to 24 hours, is where the numbers get noticeably worse. Rabbits decline sharply in this stretch, and past 24 hours, outcomes are often very serious and sometimes can't be turned around. I'm not telling you that to frighten you. I'm telling you so that the cost of waiting is concrete in your head, because the instinct to give it overnight is so strong and it is so often the wrong call. And remember, rabbits are prey animals. They are wired to hide being unwell for as long as they physically can. So by the time you're actually seeing these signs, the problem has usually been brewing for a while already. That's the real reason the clock feels so unforgiving. You're often starting later than you think. So what can you actually safely do at home in that 6 to 12 hour window while you chase down a vet? The first thing is simple and it's free. Observe and write things down. Note the time you last saw normal droppings, the time they last ate properly, exactly which foods they're refusing, and how they're sitting and behaving. Take a short video of them on your phone. All of this is gold for the vet, and it stops you fumbling for answers when you're stressed on the phone. Next, gently offer the right things. Put out room temperature water in a bowl, not cold water, because cold water can be a shock to a rabbit that's already unwell. Offer their favorite leafy greens, the cilantro, the parsley, the basil, and a few small pieces of hay. You're not forcing anything. You're just making the easiest, most tempting food available in case they'll take a nibble on their own. And pay attention, because if they refuse water and greens and hay completely, that total refusal tells you this is serious and you need to escalate getting to a vet even harder. Warmth is the next one, and this matters double in an aircon home. A sick rabbit can struggle to hold their body heat. You can give them a soft fleece blanket to tuck into, or a warm water bottle that's wrapped in a towel so it's only gently warm to the touch. Never hot, never directly against them. Cold ears can be a sign they're losing heat, so gentle warmth genuinely helps keep them stable. The rule is gentle and indirect. You are warming the space around them, not pressing heat onto them. While you're waiting on that appointment, get the carrier ready so you can leave the second the clinic can see you. Line it with towels, tuck some hay in, put a light blanket over the top so they feel hidden and safe, and keep them away from blasting aircon vents in the car. When you drive, drive smoothly. A rabbit with a painful belly does not want sharp braking and jolting, so easy and gentle gets them there in better shape. Now the part I need to be firmest about, what not to do. You will see people online talk about syringe feeding a rabbit that stopped eating. Please hear me carefully on this. Force feeding the wrong way is genuinely dangerous. Done by an untrained hand, it can send food or liquid down the wrong way into the lungs, and that causes a whole separate emergency that can be worse than the one you started with. Syringe feeding is something for vets and very experienced rabbit owners who've been shown how, with the right thing to feed. If this is new to you, the safest move is to leave that to the vet and not improvise it at midnight off a forum post. And just as important, never give any medication on your own. No painkillers from your own cabinet. Nothing a non-rabbit person suggests. Nothing from a general article. Rabbits process things completely differently from us and from dogs and cats, and the wrong thing can do real harm. Medication is the vet's call, full stop. So let's talk about what actually telling the vet looks like, because a good phone call saves time. When you get through, lead with the facts you wrote down. Say, my rabbit hasn't eaten since this time. No droppings since this time. They're hunched and grinding their teeth, and I think it could be Stasis. Using that phrase tells the clinic immediately that this is urgent and that you need someone who knows rabbits. Ask them directly, do you treat rabbits? Are you seeing emergencies right now? You want a rabbit-savvy exotic vet, not just the nearest clinic. That last point is one of the biggest mistakes I see, going to a non-exotic vet just because it's close. A clinic that mostly sees dogs and cats may not know the rabbit specifics, and that can mean the wrong medicine or a misdiagnosis at the exact moment it matters most. Proximity is tempting at midnight, but the right vet for a rabbit is worth the extra travel every time. So what happens when you get there? A vet who knows rabbits will examine your rabbit and gently feel the belly to get a sense of what's going on. They'll often take an X-ray to see where gas is pooling and to rule out a blockage, because those are handled differently. They'll usually give fluids to fix the dehydration that's driving the slowdown. And they'll address the pain, because a rabbit that isn't in pain will start wanting to eat again, and that's half the battle. They may send you home with a proper feeding plan and show you exactly how to do it. That's the right way for syringe feeding to enter the picture, taught by a professional, not guessed at. A quick honest word on cost, because it's part of planning, and I'd rather you know. An emergency exotic consult in Singapore typically runs in the low hundreds before tests and treatment, and if they need to stay overnight, it climbs from there. I mention it not to put you off, but so the number doesn't ambush you and make you hesitate. Budgeting for a rabbit means budgeting for the vet, and catching this early is also, bluntly, usually the cheaper path. Droppings only start coming back after the gut has already started moving again, so they're a lagging sign. Follow the vet's instructions all the way through, even once your rabbit perks up, because stopping early is how rabbits relapse. Trust the plan, not just the litter tray. Let's end on prevention, because the best version of this story is the one that never happens. Check the litter tray every single day. It's your earliest warning system. Build a diet around hay first, then leafy greens, then only a little bit of pellets. Keep fresh water available and top it up twice a day, because in our humidity, it goes warm and stale fast and you want them drinking. Weigh your rabbit weekly and take any sudden drop seriously. Keep their room at a steady, comfortable temperature and try not to swing them between cold aircon and heat. Introduce any new food slowly over a week or so, and book regular checkups with a vet who actually knows rabbits more often as they get older. All of that quietly stacks the odds in your favor. So that's the whole picture. A rabbit that stopped eating is a rabbit on a clock. You catch it early by watching the droppings and the behavior. You keep them gently comfortable and hydrated while you arrange help. You never force feed or medicate on your own. And you get them to a rabbit-savvy vet as fast as you possibly can. That last part is the one I tattoo on the inside of every rabbit owner's eyelids. When in doubt, you call the vet. You will never regret being too careful with this. If you want the calm version of all of this to hand before you ever need it, head to singaporerabbit.com. There's a free weekly digest with practical Singapore rabbit care. And there's our directory of rabbit-savvy vets, the exotic clinics that actually treat rabbits here. So you're not searching for a number at midnight with shaking hands. Go find your nearest one now, today, while everything is calm, and save it in your phone. That one small thing might be the most useful 5 minutes you spend as a rabbit owner. Next time we're going deep on building the perfect Singapore rabbit diet. The hay, the greens, and the small daily habits that keep a gut like this happy in the first place. If this helped, or if you think it might help someone in your rabbit group at the exact moment they need it, subscribe and share it forward. Take care of your buns.